Facilitate this first session. I wish there was a room twice as big, and I wish there were twice as many of you, because this is, a hugely important topic. But actually, when I look around, I already think this room is big enough, and I'm really hoping that everybody here will go home feeling following the workshop today that you are enough. You and the influence you can bring and the passion you can bring to this work will be enough to change the futures, to make a better end for those people that you care for and those people that you care about. When I was asked to think about this, about what dying at home might mean, it made me think about what do we really mean by home. I'm hoping that you won't have to listen to me for too long to realise that I'm not from here, and I'm Irish. And of course, Leicester, when I came to Leicester, I had to ask, where should I get a train from when I get off the plane at Heathrow? So I came here 27 years ago, came to England to work as a nurse. So I had spent a lot of my career as a nurse in the Royal, and then I was very fortunate, I think. I may have been one of Christina's first students. I was a heart failure nurse specialist working for the British Heart Foundation, and I felt very fortunate to have my clinical education around end-of-life care and end-of-life communication skills right here in LOROS. And I think it absolutely was the best training that I could have had. If there are clinicians in the room, one of the reasons why I'm really excited about the fact that we now have a Centre for Excellence and that Christina is leading it, is the fact that I think that's one of the key, agents of the right kind of change. One of the key agents for creation for all of us, regardless of your clinical background or not, your professional background or not, your interest. I think having a clinical centre for excellence here in Leicester is really important. But I was thinking about home, and I'm not sure if other people will know, but it was a tradition. Irish people emigrated a great deal in the 20th centuries. And one of the things that was very traditional for a very rural-based community was that as you left, one of the things that you knew was highly likely that you wouldn't be coming back, because there were no planes. If there were planes, you couldn't afford them. And going backwards and forwards on steamships was really expensive. So when you said goodbye, it was pretty much likely to be goodbye forever, except for writing letters. And so one of the things they used to do was take a scoop of earth from the family farm, put it in a jar, a glass jar, and take it with them. So there would always be some sense of home, regardless of where you landed. And so it makes me think, what does home really mean? Is home the soil, the sofa, the house, the rooms, your favourite pictures? Home can be lots of things. And I think when we talk about dying at home, we're not just talking about the bricks and mortar. Am I in my own room? Is there a bed downstairs in the living room? We're also talking about all the other things that make home. The people, the smells, the favourite things, pictures, artworks. All of those things create a sense of home and comfort. And so when we express an ambition to have more people die at home, or to help people die at home, it's a very, very powerful thing. So we're not just bringing them home because it doesn't use up a hospital bed. We're bringing them home because that's where most people would prefer to be. And because home is a very comforting place. And I know, as having seen the hands that were put up, I know that lots and lots of you are very deeply involved, daily involved, in trying to make it possible for people to come home. A couple of other things struck me. This session is entitled Dying at Home. But of course, what you'll hear over and over again, I think, is of course dying at home is as much about living at home as it is about dying at home. Dying well is really about living well. And again, I think this feels like an important jumping off point. Many of you are doing this work already. Many of you are doing this work already quite successfully. But dying at home is about living at home as well. And I think for those of you who are not clinical, I think this brings the possibility that you may be the most important. person, for someone who is dying at home. You may be the people who can help them live the very best of the months or days or years that are left to them. The other thing which Christina already alluded to, I think, was that dying at home requires all of us to be at home with dying. Christina alluded to sometimes we all feel that we fall short. Certainly as a clinician, I sometimes felt I really don't quite know what to do here. I'm not sure what to do for the best. I'm not sure if I trust my own judgment, and I need some help. And again, for many years now, and hopefully for many years to come, LOROS has been one of those places that can be that home base where clinicians and non-clinicians can turn for advice and support and help. And as we develop as practitioners, regardless of what our professional background is, I think LOROS and all the skills and structures that it offers can be somewhere that can help us all develop as practitioners. I'm going to close with something that I'm saying a lot. I've said it to Christina before, and it's something that I find really powerful. And it's because I suspect lots of you, perhaps in the last year, can look back on occasions when you personally and professionally have been involved in helping people to die at home and supporting them and comforting them. And that's a great thing. But probably one of the reasons why we're all here is that we don't have a sense necessarily that that's as consistently happening as we would wish. So the quote I read in the book was, it said, systems are machines for producing probabilities. Systems are machines for producing probabilities. And one of the things as we look forward, I think, in the LLOR strategy is in its final stages of preparation. One of the things as we look forward together as a community involved in this is the question of how do we make the best care? How do we make really good quality care more systematically likely for everybody? There's still a sense, I think, for me, that it's a little bit too much hit and miss as to the experience people have and how likely it is they will get a chance to die in their preferred place. So how do we create together, not just today, but after today, how do we create together a system in LLOR which makes it more likely than not that all those people who would like to die at home can die at home? I'm going to close and I'm going to introduce our next speaker. I'm delighted and excited to introduce David Newman. David is a retired Church of England priest who has served in parish and diocesan roles around Leicestershire, and most recently he served as warden of Lawn Abbey Retreat House. He has worked with LOROS to introduce improved services in LLOR for a number of years. His wife Helen, who had been a chaplain at LOROS, died at home over the Christmas period of 2022. I'll hand you over to David.